Zero Season 2, Episode 22 in June of 22 starts now. I'm your host, Brandon Davis, joined today by Aaron Perrine.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh, what's going on? Jen Anderson is here.
Hey, everybody. I just need to say for the record, while we were waiting to record, Aaron sent me the first look at Ryan Gosling's Barbie movie, and I think I blacked out. For like,
I also got that message from Aaron and had the same reaction.
This movie's going to be a masterpiece. I just need to call that out now.
Brandon, let me send it to you.
I just want everybody to know I'm not a part of the Phasio group chat, just so everybody knows.
This is all independent. Yeah.
Here, Brandon, there you go.
Yeah.
Hold on, what are we?
Yeah, go ahead. It's
wow.
Yeah. It's so good. It is so good.
That's a lot of Ryan Gosling, and nobody's going to be mad about it. Jamie Girac is here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, indeed. And we have a special guest on today's show to talk about everything other than Barbie. I'm so sorry we can't spend the hour on Ryan Gosling and his Ken abs, but we do have a lot of marvelous things to talk about with our marvelous guest, Mr. Cam Heyward.
What's up? I'm a little shocked right now. I just saw that picture. It kind of threw me off. So now my game's all messed up.
That just changed the whole vibe, the whole energy going into the show, man. Wow. Well, we're here. We're gonna get through it. That's life-changing stuff. Actually, speaking of things I didn't expect to see, Cam, your background, man, that thing is evolving.
It is. The last time we did it in here, that was at the beginning of the pandemic, and that was like my first podcast. I like to say I've done a lot of podcasts since, and it's ever evolving. A lot of stuff that shouldn't be in here.
I'm just look at us. We got Cam Heyward hooked on podcasting. I'm not saying like we did it, but like I'm not saying we did it. You know, we're so much fun.
You did.
He built a whole room about it. Look at that giant Iron Man. Is that the Boba Fett helmet?
Yeah, Boba Fett helmet back here, the giant Iron Man, and then in my son's room, I went to Saturday Night Live, and Paul Rudd was there. And so he was like, yeah, I know you guys like Marvel. And so he ended up sending me a Funko of the giant Ant-Man, and it's in my son's room. And I'm like, this dude is so spoiled. He's got like a Tony Stark like gauntlet. And I'm like, now he's got this. What is he going to ask for next? So I got to get Christmas rolling pretty fast.
Honestly, it's so nice of you to share that with your child. I would have been like, this man.
Well, he put his name on it, so I couldn't really do anything about it.
Sharpie can be erased. You can get some nail polish moved here. Is that the Sideshow or Hasbro Boba Fett helmet?
Oh man, let's see.
I love how it's opposite your Steelers helmet. Like you should just wear that out on the field one time.
Well, I tried to wear this, but my head's too damn big, so I don't know what else to do. I just got to put it off to the side. But I think it's a black piece.
Oh, nice, man. I got to get you hooked up with Sideshow. The people over there are amazing, and there's that dude, you'd lose it. I got to get you connected with those folks over there.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We're gonna after this show. I got to get you in touch with them. But all right, we got some MCU news to talk about. We got 2 shows to talk about, so we got to get through the news a little faster than usual because Miss Marvel was excellent today. Obi-Wan Kenobi, this is not a jab at Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel, I thought was a fantastic episode, but Obi-Wan Kenobi was just like I think going to be the best hour of my day, other than this hour with you all, because Obi-Wan was spectacular. I almost just cost us our advertising dollars in my description of it. But we got to get through some news quick. Spoilers are going to stay in the second half of the show. We're saving Obi-Wan for the very end. So if you're only here for Marvel and you're watching Obi-Wan later, you won't have it ruined for you. You will know clearly when spoilers begin. That's how we do it here. All right, first bit of news. Chris Evans returning as Captain America, ? Well, I threw that question at Chris Evans during the Lightyear junket because, yes, I did ask a Marvel question at a Lightyear event, and it got, hundreds of thousands of views. Let's see how many of you watch the Lightyear content. I don't want to hear it. But we have a great interview talking all about Lightyear, and it's pretty cool. But the one thing we're going to talk about on the Marvel show is the Marvel Q. And basically paraphrasing, you can go watch the whole clip on our Phase Zero YouTube channel, which I hope you're watching on right now. He said that he loved the way Captain America's story ended. He said that it would be a tall order to go back and play the character again. It's kind of almost like he's afraid to rattle it and change that ending. I know the ending is a hot button for a lot of fans. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I know a lot of people on Twitter hate it because they're not quiet about it. And that's okay. Hey, opinions. We all have them. But honestly, I don't even know if I want Chris Evans to play Captain America again. Like, I know I will have fun watching it, but I see his point, and I agree. I think Anthony Mackie is up. And as I say it, I'm like, man, I do love Chris Evans Cap. Like, I'd watch. I just don't know why. I don't know why I want it. I don't know. Jenna, what do you think? You're the top.
I completely agree. I think it's a thing. I obviously would want more Chris Evans in the MCU. I feel like it is an inevitability once we get around the Secret Wars era. The one thing I could maybe see happening before then would be something in the multiverse of like, oh, here's another universe. Here's like him teaming up with Wolverine in the 40s, like in the one X-Men the Animated Series episode, or here's some sort of thing that like our main Cap didn't have happen, but like another Cap could have had happen. I could maybe see that, but I also don't need it because like the arc is so complete on its own. I'm very curious and excited to hear what Aaron has to say because I know he made some points on Twitter that I definitely agree with.
The wise one.
Yes.
I joked, and it's funny because everybody looks at that quote tweet of me quote tweeting Brandon's wonderful interview and thinks that, oh man, you guys are disagreeing. I'm like, I love Brandon Davis. That's my dog. Like, I'm not disagreeing with him.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost unfollowed you. I'm just kidding.
But I do wonder. I'm like, we saw one episode of Anthony Mackie being Captain America and Falcon Winter Soldier, and he has not popped up in anything, not post-credit scenes, not as an assist. Although there's been tons of talk of him popping up. Remember in the interviews around No Way Home, John Watts talked about at some point in the story, we thought about having him fly up and do something to help Tom Holland them at the end, and then we scrapped it. And I was like, we fly so close to the sun, and then our wings melt and we fall back down to earth. So I would like to see him get to do some stuff on his own, but I cannot doubt the sort of appeal of either him going back and returning the Infinity Stones on Disney Plus, or Chris Evans in that old man makeup in the chair in his ear in whatever in Cap 4, like being like, nah, man, you got to go 23 degrees. I learned that the first year. You'll throw your shoulder out, you tear your rotator cuff. Like, I would love that.
I mean, wasn't Old Man Steve a big part of the early like Sam Wilson Cap comic? Yeah. So like that could work. I could see that work. I don't know. I can see it working, but also I agree. I think Sam Wilson needs something before we get Evans back because it will inevitably overshadow it in some way. Because that will be the whole talk. Is Chris Evans is back? That'll be the whole thing. Yeah, but Old Man Cap, maybe we'll see. Jamie, what do you think?
I don't know. Let a man chill out for a while. I agree. Let's give Sam his time to shine. But also, it's like, if Evans ever does come back, let's make it be like really exciting. And 3 years later, isn't that exciting? Call me in 2029 when it's been 10 years, and then I'll be like, yeah, it's Evans. But right now, I'm like, let the man voice his cartoons and star in The Gray Man. I'm with Ken from the hit upcoming film Barbie. Like, it's all good.
How many Ken references can we make on today's show?
Yes.
Ooh, Ken count, get it started.
Can you keep up? What? That was a bad one. I'm so sorry. Cam, what do you think about Steve Rogers returning with Evans?
Oh man, like I want to see him back, but like I gotta have Anthony Mackie like earn it and like let him grow in that role. Like we've seen him as Falcon, but like let's get him at Captain for at least 2 more movies. A couple more appearances, Secret Wars, and like we're forgetting, like, why not just make Chris Evans the Human Torch in 838 and let that all tie in? And so I think that'd be way funner than just letting him play Captain America. And I think you could have a lot more fun that way.
Man, could you imagine the rest of the MCU if Johnny Storm showed up and he looks like Captain America? Dude, but the only person I'd want to hear banter about that would be Tony Stark. Like, I think that, like, that's the person I'd most want to hear the reaction from, like, oh, we had a guy who looked just like you. Beautiful man. He's old now. Like, something like that. Kind of looked like Ken from the new Barbie movie. All All right, let's move on to the next topic. Hey, bing, bing. That's another one.
Yeah, so I warned about it on the show last week. I was like, everyone get ready because Thor 4 tickets were going to go on sale on Monday, and they were surprisingly easy to get. I don't know about everyone else's experiences. I had absolutely no problem. Got the tickets in maybe like 90 seconds for exactly the showing that I wanted. So it kind of raises the question that like BD posed in our rundown of like, is there hype for this movie? Are people excited? Is it this thing of like there's not as much excitement compared to like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, or is it purely a thing of like movie theaters have gotten their stuff together since those movies and now are more efficient in letting people get the tickets for what they want? Like, what do y'all think about it?
I can tell you that I did not bother because Doctor Strange was so annoying. And when the day rolled around, there were still tickets. So in my mind, I'm like, I'll be fine. I'm not going through this headache. And apparently there was no headache. And maybe it's because a lot of people were thinking like me.
I say this as a good, like, I feel like this is a good thing. But I feel like the hype is not the same as it was for Doctor Strange. It seems it's maybe it's not less, but it's at least different because Doctor Strange had so many crazy hype pieces and expectations, which I mean, we're guilty of falling into it and even guiding that conversation to some extent. And then in my opinion, Doctor Strange did not live up to that hype. Like I thought Doctor Strange was okay and good, had a lot of creative, awesome moments, but overall the movie, like we all had these crazy things that we built up that nobody really played into but us as fans. And it ended up being like, well, I didn't get this, I didn't get that. I wanted to spend more time in a different universe and learn a different universe and stuff like that. And I don't know, Doctor Strange felt like pretty okay to me overall. And I think Thor doesn't have these crazy theory videos and crazy things to talk about. And therefore the expectations are just like, I'm going to go watch this movie and probably have a really good time watching it. And it's obviously going to further the MCU in really big ways, but that's not the selling point. Doctor Strange was being sold on the commercials as this is the movie that's going to change the MCU forever, just like Eternals was, just like Endgame and No Way Home, where everything was like, this is going to change everything. And Thor, they're just like, yo, there's goats flying a boat. Go have fun. And it's resulting in, I feel like, less conversation and engagement on social media about the movie, which tickets were super easy to get. Maybe theaters just got their stuff together and were able to have servers that worked. But maybe right now people are not going as crazy the way they were because of the theories and the urgency to avoid the spoilers. I don't know. I'm just saying, I bought tickets. I'm going to be there day one. So I'm okay.
We're all going to be in there the first second we possibly can.
Yeah.
But like, that's the diehards are always going to be in there day one, first moment, first showing as fast as they can. I can tell you right now, I've had more people text me during the show about getting access to the stream, Steelers fans, to see Cam Heyward than I have had people reach out to figure out about Thor, which I was tech support from my family about Doctor Strange. They're like, have you found a way to get tickets? And I'm like trying to buy tickets in another state from California. Like, man, I hope this is what everybody hopes it's going to be. But I think Thor's going to have a fastball. And also, if we learned anything from Doctor Strange, is that the trailers closer to release will give you more stuff that might get people hyped because I saw JB's face. There it is. I got that talk behind the scenes. She was not happy about that. And neither was I really, because I'd rather go into this not knowing more than having a lot of the stuff out in the advertisements so I can actually, watch the movie.
Well, Aaron, I was just going to say, I thought you were just, you got a streaming for Barbie. I thought you were more concerned with that.
No.
But, I think movie theaters have gotten together. You've had Spider-Man No Way Home and you've had Multiverse of Madness, the two biggest movies that were literally the hardest thing to wrap your head around. And I think this is the perfect time to watch a movie. It's in July 7th in the middle of summer where everybody's watching movies. You'd like to think movie theaters have it together by the time you want to go see Thor. I don't think there's anybody who doesn't want to see Thor. Like, there's so much hype behind it. I think it's going to be the best Thor coming off of Ragnarok. I think Taika's really hit in the stride. So there's so much to look forward to in this movie.
Yeah, I was just surprised. I was 45 minutes late to buy my tickets, and the IMAX theater I'm going to had a lot of seats available still. And I was like, this is weird. This just feels weird to be able to do this. But no, I think there's plenty of hype for Thor. It's just so weird to be able to actually buy tickets easily and not have 5 screens going and texting your friend and be like, hey, try to buy tickets. But yeah. All right, we got to keep moving. I'm keeping us in place. I'm the one who said we got to hurry, and then I'm the one who wastes all our time.
So also in summer blockbuster season news, Top Gun Maverick has now surpassed Doctor Strange at the box office with $400 million domestically. And also, this was such a weird thing because it was dropped in like the middle of the night, like on late last week. Spider-Man No Way Home is getting re-released in September. The way that they build it is the More Fun Stuff edition. I know I joked on Twitter, the More Fun Stuff is just either Morbius or those weird Hulk deleted scenes from Endgame again. But yeah, so we're getting an extended version of the movie, and who knows what that is even going to entail. So what do y'all think about that?
Please, dear
I
God,
feel-
not Morbius.
Cheated that I'm getting my 4K Blu-ray that I paid for my special content that I wanted, and then they're like, never mind, now you have to go back to the theater. And listen, I love going to the movies. I like going to movies and seeing the same movie over and over again. That's not really a problem for me, but I still feel a little butthurt about this one.
OmniFan on YouTube with the perfect comment on how I feel about this. Spider-Man, no way, homie. I'm not buying a ticket after I bought it on 4K. Like, don't promise me bonus features and then make me go to the theater after I already own the movie. And then what are you going to do? Re-release the 4K too? I'm going to have 2 Spider-Man No Way Home. No, I'm not. Absolutely not. I might, but I won't. So I'm not. Cam, you're going to go see this again?
I'm not going to go see it. But
here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen. Curiosity is gonna get me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm saying this.
Just get on iTunes and I'm gonna be like, damn, I really want to buy it again. I gotta freaking buy it, and that's what's gonna end up happening. You're gonna do it, and I'm gonna text you about it.
I know. September 2nd, I'll be there. And then I'm going to come out and be like, that was the best.
You're going to do a whole show about it. Perfect.
Yep.
Oh, my God. Aaron, what you got?
I guess we're all going to end up going to at least see it. And then there's going to be a hilarious news cycle where that people are like, there wasn't that much new stuff. Where was all the new stuff at? I can tell you how this stuff's gonna go. I already own it on digital, and I'm like, we might end up having to go and see this again because they're dangling all the fun stuff that didn't make it in there. Or at least like I had to do a slider for this on Saturday, and all it was people just rattling their cages like, where's the goblin fight? Where's Toby and the goblin fighting? And so if it's that, everyone's gonna be like 10 out of 10. 100% Rotten Tomatoes, funner stuff version to go along with like the 98% or whatever it is right now, the regular version. So we're all pawns. We're all in deep to this stuff, as like the backgrounds for most of my co-hosts would let you know. Not me, not Brandon, who's in a spaceship.
I'm aboard Vader's Star Destroyer.
I'm waiting for the re-release of Multiverse of Madness. Because there's got to be more scenes there.
The Tom Cruise cut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Honestly, that wouldn't have made the movie better. Let's be honest. Yeah, cool. The cameos would have been cool. We all got excited about it, but absolutely not. I felt like Doctor Strange was a very okay movie with just way too fast. Anyway. All right. Great. Aaron, you got some news here.
Oh yeah, so Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Volume 3 news. We got Nico Santos from Crazy Rich Asians and Superstore joining the cast of an already very, very filled cast. These images that James Gunn keeps Instagramming are just so many actors, just so many actors, and no roles, no hints about who they're playing, just funny people doing stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That's like the subtitle. So anybody think anything of casting? Any ideas about who he could be playing? Anything? Because I need Adam just to pick the most weirdest, random cosmic Marvel character and be like, that's it. That's who he's playing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
I have no idea, but I am excited. I mean, he's funny on Superstar and Crazy Rich Asians, and like I said last week, keep adding these funny people. I want to laugh at this movie.
Damon Streams. Can't wait for Terry Crews to play Random Alien number 17. Terry Crews is already Disney World canon. Yeah, he's one of the Nova Corps. What's his name? Something like Malik. Reminds me of Remy Malik, but that's not his name. But it's something like that on the Disney ride. He's a Nova Corps member, but yeah, Terry Crews is part of it. Okay, so there's one thing we forgot to include in our rundown today, which I don't know how. I saw a comment of it. I just added it, and I wrote, WTF, how do we forget this? Thunderbolts is getting a movie. It's officially official. I mean, Marvel hasn't said it, but like reliable sources have. Thunderbolts is coming. The director is going to be, what's his name? Jake Schreier. I'm so sorry. I'll know your name by the time you're on our show. Jake Schreier. And it's being written by Phase Zero's previous guest, Black Widow writer, Eric Pearson, friend of the show. So that's cool. All right. I know there's some strong Thunderbolts fans in this chat right now. Jet, I see that head tilt. Go ahead.
I'm excited for Thunderbolts. I think there is a lot of potential with this. I'm already kind of exhausted by the people who are like, this is Marvel's Suicide Squad, because it's like, yes and no. There's so much more to this team than just a bunch of bad guys doing stuff. Like, I think that there is such an interesting potential to make this like a good mix of people we've already met and new people. Like, my one character I really want in this movie is Songbird, because I think she's a founding member of the team in the comics, and she is just extremely cool. We need more evil women on the wheel of evil, to quote Aaron. So it's like, put her in there. I've weirdly seen a lot of this director's movies. He did like a little indie movie like 12, 13 years ago that I saw. And then he directed Paper Towns, which was the John Green novel, like the film adaptation of that. So it's one of those things where I never would have expected him to linearly do something like this, but it makes perfect sense. But yeah, that and friend of the show, Eric Pearson, I'm very excited to see what Thunderbolts has in store.
Like, funny enough, like, this is a massive jump for the director, is it not? Because like when I was reading the write-up, they said he's like directing Kendrick Lamar and like Kanye West videos like a couple of years ago, and now he's like going to direct like a Marvel movie. I'm like, this man's pitch must have been fantastic. It must have been wild for them to be like, here's this really important part of Phase 4. There you go, and you get your pick of all the bad people. You those of you who are in the chat with the comic book account, Peter's just dancing like Zemo because he gets his boy back in here. I think that it could be really interesting, especially because it's probably going to happen. It's going to happen after Secret Invasion, which is kind of a key part of like your Thunderbolts, Dark Avengers stuff in the comics. So we're all for it. I mean, we knew it was coming. Like, we just needed to hear from someone like, yes, this is happening. Val can't be making her evil kickball team for nothing. Like, why?
I think the thing I'm most oh, go ahead.
No, please, Cam.
No, I was just gonna say, the thing with Thunderbolts I like is the Red Hulk, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get it, and so that's the only thing I'm like, but like, it's really interesting to see that like this is all the connectivity we're getting so far. Like, we haven't gotten anything else with any other TV show. Like,
you know what's gonna be really interesting is if we find out if William Hurt filmed anything for She-Hulk before he passed away. If they started setting that up, I'd be really curious.
Yeah,
for Thaddeus Ross.
Yeah,
but I don't know. That would be pretty heartbreaking to find out that they had all these plans. But but yeah, Red Hulk is an interesting part of that. That are we gonna get it? How would we?
Yeah.
That's what bummed me out when I first heard the news. I was like, "Oh man, William Hurt though." Like, it's definitely a sad thing about this whole thing, but I'm hyped for this behind the scenes crew. The indie movie Jenna was talking about is called Robot and Frank, and it's very good. I have not seen it since it came out, but I loved it 10 years ago. I recommend it. And I'm excited about this writer because you know how I feel about Black Widow, which is that I love Black Widow, and I think that the writer of Black Widow is the perfect person to take on this because it's all similar, kind of like, oh, I want to see some spy stuff.
I mean, after all, he's the writer who started Thunderbolts in the MCU then, right? Technically, he introduced Val. Or wait, she was in Falcon and Winter Soldier first.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be in Black Widow first, though. But then we got stuck in a global panoramic, and we started seeing things all around differently. Josh Harding has a comment here on YouTube. Fun fact, Jake Schreier. Why do I keep calling him Drake? Why do I keep calling this man Drake? I got a Drake album on the mind. In my feels. Fun fact, Drake. Yo,
you did it again.
Oh my God.
Jake Schreier apparently did short films with John Watts in the early days of YouTube. I'm about to go look that up.
Cool.
And if Josh Harding said it, it has to be true. So I'm gonna go look that up after the show. Jamie, I know you love reading a good quote, so you got this next bit. I'm gonna actually record this and put it in place of my comm app because it's just so enthusing.
All right. So Patton Oswalt, my boy, who of course before he was Pip the Troll in Eternals, he was all the canings on Agents of Shield. So we love him and his Marvel connections. And he was asked about whether there's going to be an Eros and Pip the Troll movie. And this is what he said. He said that would be amazing because it just seems to me that every time Marvel has rolled the dice on these kind of B or C level characters, that everyone's like, oh, who cares about them? And that's where they end up kind of really blossoming. There's Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if you've seen new Miss Marvel show, but it's just an absolute delight. I mean, it's such a great, and then he trails off and he goes, and also I'm a huge fan of both the Ant-Man movies. I think those are fantastic and very, very underrated in terms of a Marvel and capturing the spirit of those times. So if they did a movie about Star Fox and Pip, that would be dice I'd like to roll. Why not? What do you guys think? Would you like to see those dice rolled?
Oh my God! Only if it looks better than that post-credit scene. You have one of the most beautiful humans next to one of the worst animations. I know you're what?
That whole movie.
Oh no! Oh
Wow.
no!
Oh, that whole movie. I like Patton Oswalt. Like, he's from King of Queens. Like, what a great TV show. But like, man, and then what was the other show he had? He was MODOK. Yeah. And so that was really great. But man, I hate Eternals with a passion. Like, that's the worst. It's like worse than Venom for me. Like, I can't.
Wow.
I haven't seen Morbius, but like Eternals is just like, it's bad. I can't get behind. It's all over the place.
Eternals has a lot of bad stuff in its script, in my opinion. That said, I still will give Eternals like the minimum positive review. I still think it's I still am not negative on it. It's slightly below Doctor Strange for me.
Morbius Cam, I'm gonna need you to see Morbius.
Yeah, you
I'm gonna need that.
I will not do it.
You gotta do it.
You gotta.
I heard you guys talk about it last time about how it's better than The Room. I'm not watching that.
I'll buy the tickets, Cam. It just got re-released. I don't know if it's Morbin time, baby.
It's Morbin time.
For the re-release.
Back by popular demand. Oh my God. Yeah. Anyway, Eros and Star Fox. I keep hearing James Brolin just told me in a Lightyear interview that Josh is doing more stuff with Thanos. That's what he's heard, and I imagine if anybody would have heard that accurately, it's Thanos' father in real life. I've heard from other places there are Thanos plans. So hopefully there's some Thanos coming. If you're bringing in Eros, that makes sense. Pip the Troll. He's popped up in lots of cosmic comics. Like, I'm here for it. I just hope they do a better job on the animation because we've seen that Marvel can do CGI characters very well. We've also seen they do them kind of not so great, like we saw with Pip and other characters in other projects. So I would be here for it. I think we're obviously going to see Pip again, but I just there's no Pip story that I'm like, I need to see that comic adapted. Maybe there is, but it's not in this brain. Anybody feel strongly about this either way?
I just, like, as someone who loved MODOK, like, that was one of my favorite shows of last year. I'm all for Patton continuing to be part of, like, superhero media in general. So it's like, I was not a huge fan of the Pip the Troll design. I know we made so many, like, Shrek 2 jokes when the movie first came out, but it's like, I'm excited to see what is next for him and Eros, because I feel like there's a lot that you could do.
Yeah. They can make a new album.
All right.
There
you go. That's what we want.
That's the sequel. Yeah, Pip Patrol and Eros singing across the galaxy. Oh man, the Harry Styles jokes. Actually, you really can't even joke about Harry Styles. Like, it just wins anyway. Michael Giacchino is in fact directing Werewolf by Night. Interviewed him for Lightyear as well. He said, "I've been having a blast. It's an incredibly challenging process. I love it every day. I've been having fun working on it, and we're in the middle of it. Hopefully very soon we'll share a lot more about it. Yeah, there's not much I can say other than I'm having a good time, and I'm working on something that I love. So that's a win-win right there." Michael Giacchino, legendary composer, known for Lost, known for, I believe it was Up, Ratatouille, the upcoming Lightyear, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man Homecoming. This man has put his incredible sounds on so many things. He's directed a couple of short films, and now he's directing, confirmed, the Werewolf by Night Halloween special on Disney+. I said it was his first time directing on Twitter, but first time really directing a project of this scale. So I'm sticking with it. Whatever. I'm a huge Michael Giacchino fan. Super awesome person. I've seen him live in concert. Super talented. Very nice guy. And I'm grateful that we were able to confirm this because nobody has officially said anything about Werewolf by Night that's involved with it until now. Somehow they're making a whole project and not a photo, not a comment, nothing from anybody involved. We got it on the Phase Zero YouTube channel. Go watch it and subscribe. Anybody feel strongly about Werewolf by Night?
I will say your laundry list of all of his credits was the Batman erasure. As somebody who has his theme from the Batman stuck in my head like 9 times out of 10.
There it is. Yes.
There we go. Yeah. But yeah. This is one of the weirdest MCU projects in the fact of like it just exists and we still are not officially told anything about it. So I'm almost hoping they pull a Beyonce and just like surprise drop it one Wednesday on Disney Plus. That would just be wild at this point. But yeah, I'm glad that he told you that he's actually involved after so many months of like nothing whatsoever.
Feige came in with we've been doing so well, Michael. It didn't have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. All right. Anybody want to comment on Werewolf by Night before we get into spoiler territory for the second half of the show?
I just wonder how long it's going to be before they actually do announce it, because we made all that stuff about the Thor not getting a trailer, and it theoretically Werewolf by Night is a couple months away, and no announcement, no nothing. Like I'm sure, like you said, he got out of the interview, he closed out of the Zoom link, and then like pew, freaking doom, like he just appeared. He's like, I had such high hopes for you.
Feige showed up with a little silenced pistol under his jacket. Pew! That was it. And he just walked out of that room. All of a sudden, Michael Giacchino has not been heard from. The Junket Productions team just went into cleanup mode, like the boys. All right. Anyway, we're taking this. Michael Giacchino is alive and well. He's a wonderful person. He said basically nothing, Kevin, so please spare him. All right, in a minute, we're going to be back to talk about Ms. Marvel Episode 2, and then we're going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5. Spoilers will be in the second half of this show. You've been warned. See you in 60 seconds. Welcome back to Phase Zero, Season 2, Episode 22. This is spoiler territory, and we're about to spoil Ms. Marvel Episode 2 if you have not watched it yet. And then we're going to follow that with Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 5, 2 fantastic episodes of Disney Plus shows. They're feeding us, and we're eating it, and it tastes really good. So we're going to go around with reactions, starting with Ms. Marvel Episode 2. Spoilers can fly now. Aaron, you're at the top of the screen. What'd you think?
When we were watching the screeners for this, I kept laughing because Jamie's the only one of us that didn't. I mean, Cam too, but like the normal Phase Zero rotation doesn't have the screeners, and I'm like, what a perfect show for my friend. What a thing for her to have. It's just like, what if you made Spider-Man Homecoming, but it was 6 or 7 episodes long? I love the cast. They all still work really well together. Sometime this week, you guys get to see me talk to all of Kamala's friends, like the actors and actresses that play her friends. And that youthful energy is not just confined to like the episodes. It really feels like they all get along together, and that comes across on screen really, really well. And we're just gonna all be on this ride together, talking about her powers and what's gonna happen. And Strange, how does this kid have this sports car? in weird Jersey City. What did his parents do? He would have been my friend in high school. I'll tell you that.
Listen, some of y'all did not go to high school in Colts Neck, New Jersey, and it shows. Okay,
What?
I'm from Howell, New Jersey, where I didn't get a car till I was in college. But in Colts Neck, New Jersey, those kids, man, they let me know how much I didn't have. All right, and then, this is I'm bringing up memories. Yeah, how the hell does a kid drive a Porsche? Anyway, Jamie.
I love when Aaron knows that things will make me happy. Let me tell you guys, when I finished Obi-Wan and Ms. Marvel last night, I was so hyped that I'm like, let's celebrate the 20th anniversary of Scooby-Doo. And then I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning watching the Scooby-Doo movie. Because that's how energized I was. And I'm a little tired right now. What a delight was Ms. Marvel. I just like, normally I don't care about watching someone like learn their powers, but it's so charming and endearing in this show, and interesting because her powers are so different from pretty much anything in the MCU. I feel like, and watching her like save people and it's going a little wonky. Just all the teen stuff. I just love me some teen stuff. And I have a little rant about something that I'm going to go into, not right now, because I want to hear everyone's reactions first, but just ping that, because there's something I got to say. It's not really anti-Ms. Marvel. It's anti somebody made a mistake in the MCU. But that aside, Bruno is starting to give me Ducky vibes, which is the least nice thing I could say about anyone. The kid's doing great, like acting wise, he's doing a good job making me think of him as a Ducky. I am very anti-Ducky. If you don't know what this means, listen to my other podcast. Hollywood already did it, because we're going to go in deep on this. But I need this. I kind of want Bruno to be a villain, because he's giving me villain vibes, and if he just turns against her, I wouldn't be surprised, is all I'm gonna say.
Cam.
Well, I have to say, like, man, I didn't know a lot about Miss Marvel going into it because she's such a newer character, but I feel like, you start to compare her to like Peter Parker and like, the Spider-Man, and I think like I love her so much more than like Peter Parker and Spider-Man, because there's so much culture and there's so much you can really dig into her. And I love how like they're explaining like the different cultures, the different ethnicities, and like how they went through. Is she Indian? Is she Muslim? Is she South Asian? And like really got into that and explained the partition. And it's just, I like the teen drama as well, but I like the bad teen dramas. I like the One Tree Hill and like the Dawson Creeks, where it's like, oh, like that's terrible, and like why the heck are they talking about this? But this is like more like 2000 teen drama, where it's like accepted and like everybody likes it. It's more nuanced. It's the new WB, or the CW, like we like to call it now. But it's a great show. I'm still trying to figure out how I can get a car in high school like that. I was pitching a ride with my friends in the back of their green rocket, so it's like, it's not an easy thing, but if you find a friend who has it, good for you.
Jenna.
Okay. So first of all, I love that we can add Pretty in Pink to the list of things that we are teaching the Phase Zero audience about after last week's episode, when we had a laundry list of references that nobody understood. I totally, like, piggybacking off of what Cam said, I have been spending a lot of my free time lately watching Smallville, and this has the same sort of energy of like a teen drama, but it is so authentic. The way that like all of her supporting cast and all of her character interactions unfold is just like so refreshing and so entertaining and so nice. The Bon Jovi conversation is just endlessly delightful. Like, that made me laugh both times. I think this show is just doing such a good job of channeling that Peter Parker energy of his, like, Kamala's supporting cast is getting to thrive in a way that like Peter's original supporting cast did in the 60s, but they're almost getting to thrive more than they did in the comics, which is very surreal and very cool to see. And just having all of that with how she is coming into her powers and how she is discovering it, it is just so delightful. It's just so much fun to watch.
I did not watch episode 2 until today. I had the episodes early. I pulled a Jamie and I was like, you know what? I want to wait. I want to be part of it as it rolls out. I liked episode 1. I watched it again. I liked it more. I really loved it after episode 2. Like, I think, like, I really love the dynamic between Bruno and Kamala. I think that that's great. I think that the family stuff is really fantastic. Like I think the exploring like the cultural aspects of Kamala's life, her Pakistani roots, her Muslim roots, like you just don't see that in a way that like mainstream audiences watch. Like it's usually something that's like, it's not this big budget. Like people don't like, white people aren't watching that. Like they are sometimes, but it's not in this way. I don't know how to use the right words to say, but it's just cool to see it on this scale and on this stage. And I've been seeing people on Twitter. And there's actually one point, I got to make sure I find the name of this Twitter user, this TikTok user, who is pointing out the cultural references that he's seeing from his own life through Ms. Marvel, because there's one I'm going to point out, and I'm not taking credit for it. I got to find his name before I even bring it up. But it's cool to just see people's reactions that way and see that it's diving in so authentically and that everybody involved got to kind of flex their own cultural experiences in the show. And it's making for a really good show that even if you haven't had those same religious or whatever experiences that like the people in Ms. Marvel are going through, ultimately it's just about a family and a teenager who's going through stuff. Like I have related to Kamala Khan. I've been not allowed out to go to a party or to go to something I wanted to go because my mom was too strict. Just because my mom had a different way of telling it to me was like whatever, you know? So I think that this show is super relatable. It's super fun. It's gotten better in episode 2 than it did in episode 1. It's a coming of age story. It reminds me of Spider-Man Homecoming. I really, really, really like it. And it just, again, feels like Marvel is doing something different with like they have with each of these shows. And I'm digging it. I really like it. I wish I watched episode 2 earlier because I felt like I was very like, it was good. I liked it after episode 1. And now I'm fully just like, this is really fun. I'm really loving it. And it's not that sense of urgency to avoid spoilers. It's just a sense of like, I'm enjoying the show and it's really fun that way. But yeah. So let's talk about some Easter eggs. If you guys have any Easter eggs or theories you want to bring up, obviously go ahead. There was the Kingo reference, which it's nice to hear the Eternals get name dropped. There's still love for Kingo's bloodline older than him. The bloodline is being acknowledged. And Kingo is still a mega celebrity. But I don't know. People don't seem to know he's an Eternal, right?
No.
He's just a movie star. Because they mentioned his grandfather, which is just him. So he's just...
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
You're realizing in real time. Oh
I legit was like, oh yeah, his grandfather. But then I realized like, that's him. I'm an idiot. Wow. Wow. And I watched Eternals twice, okay? And I still... Yeah, Cam, Cam doesn't get to weigh in on this one.
Yes, done. He's out.
He pleads the fifth.
I was just gonna say the one thing I loved is like when they're at the mosque or they're at the Id
celebration,
yeah. And I love how it was like very cliquish because it was like a barbecue, and it's like you could identify with everything. I really like the Illuminatis. Like this is the 616 version of the Illuminati.
This is what I have to rant about since you brought it up is the Illuminatis, which was very funny. But here I go. I'm going to get into it. Every single time I saw Doctor Strange and he learns about the Illuminati, he goes, the Illumawati? And I thought, that's interesting that he's never heard that word. And I don't mean in the context of what the Illuminati is in Marvel. I mean what it is in our world. The conspiracy, silly, whatever. We've all heard the name Illuminati, not related to Marvel. And in the way it's used in Ms. Marvel is very much our version of the show. They use the little I, like the little Dan Brown business when it says Illuminati across the screen. So if our version of Illuminati exists in the MCU, then really Doctor Strange has never heard of the Illuminati to be like the Illumawati? I hated that joke. And Ms. Marvel has proven to me that it was a dumb joke that didn't make any sense because obviously these are two different Illuminatis. They're not the same thing, but to have never heard the word is kind of silly. And that is my mini rant for today. Thank you, Cam, for leading me to it.
I am so glad you pointed that out because I'm probably one of like 12 other people who did notice that because I was like, I remember rewatching Doctor Strange and being like, how does he not know that phrase just as a concept? So thank you for pointing that out. I feel very validated right now.
I agree. I wasn't as passionate about it, but I did have that thought.
I'm not as passionate about it.
But I think it was in a trailer and I was like, what? Why did you say that? Jenna, I see you got your keyboard on that next line. Did you want to go
Oh
with
no,
this one?
it just ended up there. That was not on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Kamala calls her powers hard light, and that's a reference to X-Men's Danger Room from comics, which is just a nice nod there. It's cool to. I mean, I don't know if that's even intentional. I don't care. I'm saying it. It is, and it happened. There's an Endgame Hawkeye / Black Widow joke in there, and I never make these kind of jokes, so I think it's appalling that Miss Marvel would joke about this scene. I'm shocked and hurt by this. But in the sequence where Kamala is hanging from the side of the building and Bruno is holding her, he's like, "You have to let me go." That was word for word, I believe, what Black Widow said to Hawkeye in Avengers Endgame, which isn't something to joke about, and anybody who would is sick. But the writers on Miss Marvel thought it was clever, and then she was right there. It reminded me of Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent when they were like trying to get over that wall.
Yes.
And that's still my #1 movie of the year. If you haven't watched that, it's on Blu-ray and 4K like this Friday, so do it. It's on digital now. You're welcome for the plug, Lionsgate. Great movie. Pedro
Layla
Pascal.
is so proud of you.
Where's
Probably.
Layla? Yeah.
Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
Happy birthday,
Layla.
Layla.
Happy
Layla.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
Layla.
birthday.
Yeah, well, I actually had the note in here at the top of the show. We just got so carried away with Cam's giant Iron Man. Happy birthday, Layla. We love you on this show, and we love that you're here every week. And you actually couldn't be here today because what are you, having a birthday? Oh my gosh. Happy birthday. All right, the Stark drones were in the episode from Far From Home. Were those the Stark drones? Everybody online is saying that they're the Stark drones. Were they just drones that now we're saying are Stark drones in Far From Home that chased Kamala down?
I don't know.
Well, I was watching with Tony, and he was like, Stark drones. And I was like, is it though? Because who has those? Who has
Right, if they
access
were
to those
Stark
right now?
drones, wouldn't like we have had the Stark Industries logo focused in on the screen?
Yeah.
Like they would never miss an
Yeah.
opportunity to drop an Iron Man reference. So I don't know, but
Maybe
that was-
Cav told them to take it out. Maybe.
Big Daddy Kev said to remove Iron Man from it.
Remember, like he said that there was too much Iron Man reference in it, and
Yeah,
he was like,
'cause
"Y'all need to tone this down." Like,
yeah, because
stop this.
Iman kept wanting to add like Iron Man references. So
Yo, Iman is all of us, and we need to get her on
Yes.
the show.
Yes.
I'm actually going to send the email as soon as this is over. And Cam, you're welcome to come join
Yes.
that interview too. Like we need to get Iman on the show because she is as much of, if not more, of a Marvel fan than all of us here. Like I think she's the perfect guest for this show.
Yeah, I
But
gotta make her a
listen-
Steeler fan too.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta get her out to Pittsburgh for a game. But could you imagine what her life is like right now? All the things she's getting to experience and do, and like how maybe overwhelming some of it might be.
It's a
Like,
fan.
how old is she?
I think she's 19.
19, yeah, something like
I think she's 19.
Yeah.
And I mean,
19 years old.
it makes me so happy because to get that role and then to embody it so well, and it just could not be more perfect casting. There's just no one on earth who would be a better choice, and it's really awesome to see. And she converted me. I didn't really care about the universe thing in the comics, and then she said it, and I was like, "Girl's right. She's right. She should say
She's
it."
making points.
Yep.
She's making points. She MCU's Aaron when it comes to making points.
It's too much credit. It's too much credit. I did love that she had an interview like 2-3 days ago where they asked her to name all the Marvel movies, and she got
Yes.
really close, and then she forgot Captain Marvel. She's like, "Oh no,
Yes.
that's so embarrassing." And I'm like, "She is us.
Yeah.
She is us. Good stuff,
You're
Yeah.
in the sequel.
yes.
girl."
She wants to be in an Iron Man movie so bad, and I respect that. We all do, right? Except,
Yeah.
well, I don't know. There's a lot of Iron Man haters out there. Team Iron Man, still to this day. Cameron is pulled straight from the comics. They bond over Bollywood movies in the comics. Like a lot of that stuff is pulled straight from the comics. Her kind of having a crush on him and imagining it in that way. Also, I just want to shout out the directors of this show. They find really creative ways to slip into like the teenage dream element. Like we've all been there as kids where you see this go in one way and like you might even remember it having gone that way. Like even when she gets home and she gets dropped off by that fancy Porsche and she goes into the fridge and like the room starts lighting up in different colors. Like as a kid, like you imagine that kind of stuff. I don't know. And I think it's so creative how they're doing it. But that character and his mother are part of the New Human group in the comics, and they are very much enemies of Kamala in the books. So I feel like we might be going that way, unless it's too predictable and they want to pull a little switcheroo on us. Marvel Studios has been known to flip those things a few times, but who knows? It's very interesting to me that we still don't have a clear-cut villain, but this did feel like the end of the first act, right? So we're 1/3 through the show. It felt like a really nice way to split it into 3 acts. Where do you think? Anybody have any idea where we're going, where we want to go?
I feel like there's so much that you could do just based on like the comics and all of the different villains she has. I know I mentioned it last week. There's the Inventor, who is the half human, half bird villain. It's like, if you did that, this would be my favorite Disney Plus show. Like, it would just be amazing. So I feel like the fact that there is so much potential with where they could go and how they're remixing her comic canon, it's like the sky's the limit at this point.
I think the Inventor is a very realistic way. If you go back to the opening montage of the first episode, you see the bird, and Inventor, for those who might not know, is like a clone of Thomas Edison that goes wrong. It gets part man, part bird, and is like literally a bird man. And also we had in episode 1, there was Edison Electric there was a huge sign for it on the back of the rooftop when Bruno and Kamala were sitting up there exchanging the photon gloves. So Edison Electric is basically like a rundown electric company that's seemingly unsuccessful and never got off the ground in the comics, and that is going to be tied to the Thomas Edison man-bird clone, and maybe we're going there. They already said they want to see that in season 2, but maybe they're just dodging, and that's where we're going now. Who knows? I want to see a big man-bird. I don't know. This show does feel super grounded though, so that could be a big.
Well, I want to save the man-bird for Falcon, because like that's eventually got to happen, right?
Yeah. That would be. Could you imagine watching like Captain America with his wingsuit versus like a giant parrot?
Yeah. The new Falcon who's going to take over, doesn't he like get abducted and then get turned into like a half Falcon, right? Or is that? Oh man, I'm way off. Or not?
Go text him, Brandon. He knows. Torres knows. Y'all bros.
Oh, Joaquin Torres.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Okay, there's one other thing. I know I was off topic there, but okay. I'll say one thing. The one thing I really liked in the show, and it's probably like I got a big laugh out of it, is when she's on the building and the guy goes, "Oh, that's Nightlight." I'm like, that is the worst name to be called when you're a superhero. Like, they couldn't give him a better name than Nightlight.
Yeah, that's like some night monkey business up there.
Yep.
I just want to say Cam was right. Cam was right. Joaquin Torres does get turned into a bird-like creature by Dr. Carl Malice.
All right.
All right, Cam.
We already had. I remember we were talking about Dr. Malice references in Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't remember what they were, but I do remember I've said that name on this show before. So Cam bringing the heat. Cam, this is your show now.
Well, I listen too much to you guys, so I just hope
we forget what we say.
Yeah.
Nightlight reminded me of Starlight from The Boys. The name. That's pretty much it, though. Also, I'm going to pull this up. If you guys could just stall for me and say whatever else you want about episode 2, because I don't want to bring up this Easter egg without naming the creator.
I'll pose a question that the chat has been posing the entire time. Do we think anyone on the show is a Skrull? Because the chat is like theorizing out the wazoo. My gut reaction would be Agent Cleary, the guy from No Way Home, who is now in this show. Like, I feel like if anyone could be a Skrull in a very like surprising but still kind of predictable way, I think it would be him. But yeah, do y'all have any theories about who could maybe be a Skrull on the show?
I think that's a good theory, just because of the fact in No Way Home, when he he was the one that knew Fury was off world, so I feel like he has some insider information. I like that theory. Also, I'm glad he's back, just because, as we all know, I like him on Succession. So I like to see that.
Great show.
Yeah.
I think I was going to say, if anybody's a Skrull, it's the damage control people.
Yeah.
I think we gotta start getting some more Skrulls. Like I think we haven't gotten any Skrulls in any other TV shows besides WandaVision. So they gotta start throwing some more at us. Maybe Bruno as well.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Wow. Jamie. Yeah.
Bruno, you bad boy.
Justice Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Oh my god.
Listen, all my man's is doing is crushing on Kamala, okay?
Yep.
And making technology.
he is being salty about her liking another guy, and that is ducky territory, and we don't go there. We don't go there.
Wait,
There is
but
no
that-
such thing as the friend zone. That is not real. If you use the term friend zone, we're gonna have a sidebar about why it's not a real thing. And that's all I gotta
every
say
guy's
about
been
that.
put in the friend zone.
Every guy has been put in the friend zone,
That's-
and it
friend
hurts
zone is not real.
sometimes.
The
Tell my
term
wife
friend
that.
zone is okay.
Everybody listen up.
When you are friends with a woman and you're a man and you expect more from them, then it is there's an unbalance in that relationship. And this girl, she just thinks you're friends. She doesn't know this, and then you have these things, these thoughts in your head, and it's okay to have a crush on your friend, but to say that you're in the friend zone, that's not fair to your friend who just thinks that you're a confidant and a good person in their life, but really you just want something a little more from them. I feel strongly about this, and it's okay to like your friends, but maybe just tell them and be honest, because otherwise you're in.
What if it's not? I don't know if Bruno has an expectation. Maybe he just has feelings he doesn't know how to express, and because he doesn't know how to express them.
Then don't be salty that she likes another guy.
He still showed up to the family affair. He still dressed up and played and did his part.
He's huffing and puffing. And I don't like it.
For those of you listening to this and not watching, the chat is going crazy right now. It's wild over there.
I agree. An expectation is wrong. There is no obligation or anybody owing anything just because you like them. I fully agree with that.
I just don't like the term. The term friend zone to me is sexist. Pick something else. But it's okay to like your friends too. I mean, that's a real thing. Hello, I love Fitzsimmons. That's how it started. Anyway, I'm done.
Poor
I did not mean to get in there.
Is such a nice kid too, and he's like, I don't want. He's like, I don't know what to say because I don't want to get shot by the snipers. So I'm just gonna let you know. We'll see what happens. I was like,
we'll see
okay,
what happens.
yeah.
Maybe
Well,
Bruno win me over.
I thought like the first rant with Jamie was like going to be the worst one, but like this, he wanted about the friend zone, and I was not ready for that. And so I agree with you, Jamie. And so like, but the funny thing is, he barely said anything, and we just all went to the conclusion.
I'm just sensitive. I'm sensitive because of the ducky factor. I'm so
That's
like,
fair.
it's a teen thing. We're on a teen show, so if this was real life, his behavior wouldn't be that noticeable. But because it's a show, I'm worried how he's going to progress. I'm witnessing it. It's different on TV. I'm worried, like. That's all I'm trying to say. Well, I wish this kid the best in real life. I hope this actor thrives. He's a good actor. I just, you know what? Yeah, we need to we don't talk about Bruno playing now.
We do have to get that playing because we only have a few more minutes and we got to talk about Obi-Wan. So we are done talking about Bruno. Bruno, listen, boy. All right. We're rooting for your happiness too. Just don't make it weird, bro. All right. I want to give one quick shout out for this video. I'm gonna make a video about this on our Phase our YouTube channel, but also this man. I don't know his real name, but his accounts are Watch with Neebs with a Z on the end on Twitter and TikTok. He's got 125,000 followers, so he's doing pretty well. He made a video that showed that the logo on the Miss Marvel costume, which is kind of like the lightning bolt looking thing, which was previously worn by Captain Marvel in the comics, and like that's where it came from. If you look at the first episode when Kamala shows off her necklace because Zoe compliments it, she says it's my name in Arabic, and at the end of it, it looks like a very similar symbol to what could be what's on the Captain Marvel suit. In Arabic, you read it from right to left, not from left to right. That looks like it could be a K for Kamala, which could be just a big K. And in the very first episode, if you remember, and I don't think Neebs said this in his video, but I'm adding this. Bruno said they want you to add something about yourself. So maybe that is how she adds something about herself when she gets a full-on costume. I'm just putting that out there. I like the idea, and we're gonna just move on to Obi-Wan. So that's out there. I'm gonna make a video about this, and we'll go. All right, Obi-Wan episode 5 spoilers start now. If you want to talk more about Miss Marvel, you can tweet us. You can drop some comments. Maybe if we have a minute at the end, we'll circle back to it. But Obi-Wan Kenobi episode 5 theories and reactions really quickly. Aaron, what do you think about Obi-Wan episode 5?
I wish someone would have warned me before this series that there would be so much looking back to actually not just like flashbacks, but like, no, we're gonna get him in the Padawan hair and the ponytail, and they're gonna be doing the awesome prequel dueling in this as much as they have, because they said that in the interviews before, but I was like, yeah, sure. And then the day they're like, I'm like, yeah, this is what I came here for. Let's go.
Jamie, what'd you think?
I literally like the episode opens on that tiny little man pony, and I literally gasped when I saw that man pony. I can't believe this show exists. I say this every time I talk about it, but it is the best thing that's happened to me since WandaVision. My life is better. I can't even put into words, and I just don't understand how anyone doesn't think this is the perfect program. I'm just obsessed with it. Everything in this episode, the flashback. Oh, my life, my heart, they're in the little Attack of the Clones hair. And then, oh man, Reva is just getting cooler and cooler and more dynamic and more in the lightsaber fight with her, where it's like, man, she's got nothing on Vader. He doesn't even whip out his own saber. It's all of it, everything. Tala, my girl, and Ned B, you guys were great while you lasted. I'm just so emotional.
Cam, good luck topping that.
Yeah, I ain't topping that. Thanks.
Following Jamie is tough. I'll tell you. It happens every week. It happens to somebody every week.
I see the man pony, but did you see the rat tail going with it too? So it's like everybody gonna start getting that as well. Is that gonna come? Is that gonna come back?
I'm about to grow it in.
There you go, Brandon. That's perfect.
Might do a clip on just to start.
No, you're watching this though, like you got to think, like, damn, why wasn't this shown in Attack of the Clones? Like, this is like what you wanted. This is like the building towards Revenge of the Sith. Like, I'm watching right now the originals with my kids, but like this makes the prequels so much better. And to see Obi-Wan and to see Anakin back then and to see them almost play off of each other now or back then, I'm not ready for the timeline, but it's a lot of fun. This show keeps getting better and better. All the little things, but I'm just ready. I like how Obi-Wan thinks without his lightsaber, like, and he holds that against Anakin, because Anakin is just brute force and he beats down on everybody, but Obi-Wan's like, I can fight without a sword or without a lightsaber. That brings new meaning to the Jedi, where it's not just a lightsaber. So this show is unbelievable.
It also makes A New Hope better too, in my opinion. Like, yes. A New Hope's already great, and it also enriches that. Jenna, what do you think?
I echo everything that's been said. I echo Jamie's excitement 1,000%. Like, Chris and I were sitting there, we're eating our breakfast. We go through the previously on that first opening scene starts and we just both freeze. It was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that we are seeing them like in the prequel era again. That all of those little flashbacks made me emotional every single time. This episode is just so good. I wanted to shout out, because this one theory that I've seen online that was from Brett White at Decider has completely changed how I've seen the show. And he basically pointed out that every single episode is mirroring a different movie installment of, like, episode 1 is mirroring episode 1 and so on and so forth. And so seeing this be episode 5 and kind of mirror Empire Strikes Back, you notice so many little things in the tone of the episode and in the the stakes and the escalation of everything. And that only made me love it more. I agree. Reva is incredible. Every component of this show is incredible. I'm so sad about Ned B. He's great. The show is just amazing.
I did not expect the emotional punch this episode gave us. Like, we had one scene. What was that character's name? The woman. What is her name?
Tala.
Tala.
Yeah, she's one scene. She's really kind of helping Obi-Wan deal with his guilt, and then the next scene she's dying. Like that, all like one after the other was a 1-2 punch, because she was great. I really enjoyed her character.
So sad, but also thermal detonator.
It was cool, man. Dude, the action sequences in this episode were freaking. I mean, watching Obi-Wan and Anakin duel each other, like in training with lightsabers, was great. In the flashback, like the Reva instantly became like, I kind of saw a version of not exactly what came of it coming. I love that the theory paid off, that like the girl at the beginning was Reva, but the way that they talked through that wall, the way that it led to, like, you know, I think she was kind of crazy for the way she tried to kill Vader. Like, just open your saber, like, in his heart, like, don't open it and then swing it. Like, you could have done this right. You know how these things work, but also he's in the next movie, so you can't kill him. So like, I just, like, this episode is so good. It gave me everything I wanted, and I'm really worried about the finale, to be completely honest, because I'm like, you know, is there a satisfying version of this? Because, neither of them can kill each other. We know where this goes. Like, what is the resolution that you can give us for this incredible journey? It's been so good. We saw the younglings really getting sliced up today, which was a lot. I was not expecting that. I think that's what the warning at the beginning of the episode was for. You guys had the warning, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that was but yeah, I don't think Reva's dead. Also, I mean, I think they made that clear.
Yeah.
The same way that the Grand Inquisitor looked dead before, looked more dead in episode 1 or 2 than she ever looked. What's that?
One thing on that. Why is everybody able to come back but Qui-Gon? Everybody else comes back from a lightsaber in the stomach, but Qui-Gon gets one, and he's dead.
Like, you just know he's going to be in the finale as a Force ghost.
Yeah.
Better.
Has to be. They've been teased. They teased it twice over. They put it in the recap at the beginning of the first episode. They said, they showed Yoda talking about how, you can talk to people when they're gone. It's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. All right, we got to wrap up. Anything you want to talk about from this episode or things you want to see in the finale? Cam, you're at the top.
Yeah, I do want to see Qui-Gon. It would be really cool to see Vader and Obi-Wan both see Qui-Gon, and then they understand that like there's a struggle going on there. But I think we got to get a tease of Yoda, because doesn't Obi-Wan train with Yoda a little bit? Like, because it's hinted at in the original where he says, "My Master Yoda taught me, and now I'm going to teach you." But we've never gotten to see that before. So I think that's got to wrap up. But I also think there's got to be a season 2. And they already teased Luke again. So there's got to be more there. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
I mean, it's just like I'll be thankful for whatever we get, but I think that I would really like to see the random Force ghost. Also, it's gonna break my heart when Reva figures out that the reason that he left you for dead there was to save Leia. So he has learned his lesson about going back for the children, and she'll probably be pretty conflicted about that because girl just runs on rage. She's just completely, utterly, singularly focused. She's like Anakin in that way. So I'm excited to see what that resolution is going to look like. Oh, Peter. Star Killer. He did. He really did. Yeah. I was like, dang. I've seen so many transport ships get yanked out of the air for the last 5 years, man. Woo!
So who the hell was driving that? He just got straight.
He's done.
well, no, whoever was driving that is going to be the one to get Reva out of there.
Oh. Yeah.
Maybe. Jamie, anything you got?
Yeah, I'm just, it kind of feels like Better Call Saul and Kim in that what happens with everybody else except for Reva. And so I'm just so worried about her in this last episode because she's like the character that has the most stakes because we don't know where she's going. And I just want her to live so bad so that we can get her in something else. Just like I want Kim to live so bad on Better Call Saul. And it feels very, very much. But one thing about the show that I can't believe how hard they're leaning into the youngling thing, because I remember when Revenge of the Sith came out and how shocked everyone was about that. And I would like to call out my social studies teacher when I was freshman in high school. I couldn't see Revenge of the Sith at midnight because it was his final. And we walked into class and he goes, "I got to see it at midnight and Anakin killed younglings." And I will never forgive that man for spoiling that for me. And I don't even remember his name. I just remember that he did that. And I just want you all to know that that's some BS. And anyway, that's my contribution.
What school did he go to?
This was Booker High School in Sarasota, Florida.
I'll go find him.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yo.
Wow.
Jenna, what you got?
Oh my God. I will just say, I don't know what's going to happen. And I love it. I agree that Reva is the biggest question of what is her future after this. The one thing that as I've said previously, I never expected the show to give me young Leia. So I am just very curious and very excited to see kind of where her journey wraps up in a way that then dovetails into the original trilogy. So as long as we get something satisfying with that, which I know we will, given how much she's been in the show, I'm going to be happy. But yeah, I have no major expectations beyond that.
I'm gonna defer my prediction and thoughts to Richard, who I believe is able to pop into the show. I had a friend tell me that they really loved hearing from Richard this 2 weeks ago on the show. Richard, if you're able to, if you can't drop there, you see, Richard. There he is. Richard knows a lot about Star Wars, very passionate about this. So I'm going to defer to Richard for this one. Richard, we're going to end the show with your thoughts on Obi-Wan and what you want in the finale.
Man, well, thoughts. You know, we talked about this earlier, man. I've been loving this series just in general, but today, man, opening up with Attack of the Clones, Anakin. I almost cried, dude. I almost cried just seeing that. I feel like it's a treat that we get these little snapshots or these flashbacks to these old times, because one, I never thought we'd see any of this stuff. So I'm just glad that we're getting this in real time now. To answer your question about what I'm hopeful to see, I'm just gonna circle back. I really want to see that connection between Qui-Gon, Force Ghost, and Obi-Wan. I think we're gonna get that in the final episode. But I'm wondering how that plays out. Like if it'll be in a big moment where, you know, Obi-Wan's fighting Vader and like finally, you know, Qui-Gon comes in, or if it's something different. I'm really hyped to see that interaction between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. I don't know. I'm big on that. So yeah.
All right. He has spoken.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. I want to thank Cam Heyward for coming on our show, which ended up running way long today, giving us some free overtime right here. Cam, thanks for coming out here, bro. Anything you want to say to everybody as you head out?
Thank you for having me. I know you guys like to plug your Twitter handles. I'm at Cam Heyward. If you want to see me make a fool out of myself, look forward to interacting with you guys.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, everybody. Go visit your comic shops. Go follow out Jamie Cinematic, Samuel Hornet Hates, Jenna Lynn, at Brandon Davis, being at Cam Heyward. We'll see you all in a week. And thank you to Richard for his cameo today. We know Phase Zero Nation loves a cameo, so that's where we're going to end it. All right, y'all. Have a good weekend.